invocation and pledge allegiance.
Let us pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the opportunity we have together this evening. By agreeing to run for election, these people agreed to do what is best for Madison County. Help them with the wisdom, knowledge, and common sense to fulfill their pledge for Madison County. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and do a roll call.
Fitch?
Here.
Stancil?
Here.
Hobbs? Here.
All right, we'll go ahead and approve the agenda. Any notations of conflict of interest that need to be disclosed? Nope. Don't have any. All right, do we need any changes to the agenda?
Only thing that would be not necessarily to the agenda, but on some of the resolutions, we just inadvertently put the oldest auditor's name. So what we'll do is cross out, add the new one, and initial it. So that's the only thing. And yeah, so move to approve the consent agenda.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Oh, any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Okay, we are now up to department head reports and discussion.
Should we do this one?
Oh. What's after the public hearings? Oh, that's a little bit out, I'm sorry. We were supposed to have the public hearing first before presentations and department heads. I think we'll be okay. So
I
just,
thought public hearing went before,
it went before, it should have gone
before
before.
public comment.
It did, but all they were supposed to go, we'll review it.
Don't worry about it.
That's okay. I'm sorry, Mike.
No,
We're
there's
gonna
nothing
go
to be
in
sorry
order.
about. Whatever you want to do.
We'll go on order.
Okay.
So, what was presented to Rick?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Hackett. I'm the Madison County Secretary of Roads Department. Thank you for having me up here to give a quick presentation this evening. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the Secretary of Road Department, and I thought I'd talk about a few of them. These are all LET projects that I brought to the board with resolutions, and now we're kind of to that phase where construction is starting. This is the Cummings Road. I actually have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow. I'm hoping that it will start Monday. We don't know the exact date. That road will be controlled with flaggers and pilot cars, and it's expected to take about 3.5 months to go through that whole process. Roughly about 9 miles, about $4 million a mile, and that's resurfacing. That consists of patching, some guardrail enhancements, and like I say, just resurfacing. This project's been in our 5-year program for quite some time, and we finally have enough farm to market money to get that done. So I just thought I'd bring you that information, and you'll see that notices go out to the landowners as we get the exact date, and pushed out on our social media. Excellent.
Mike, is farm to market state money?
Farm to market is money that is collected both federally and state through our road use tax money, which would be gasoline, licensing, that kind of stuff. So that's that. I was actually at a pre-construction meeting last Thursday. This is going to start Monday, next Monday the 14th. This is a joint project between Adair, Madison, Guthrie, and Dallas. There's HSIP money on this, so this is part of highway safety improvement program, and combining to get this project done. All 4 counties touch this road. We have an agreement. Ours happens to be the longer section of this one. What we're doing here is we are replacing 65-year-old pavement. It's done. It has to be completely ripped up and repaved. Dallas County is the lead on this project. I can relay any comments or questions to them, or you may contact them. We look at pushing that out here recently too, so just another notice of closure that's coming. Our portion of that was right around 465,000. Again, that's going to come from farm to market, and then we all share the 293,000 of the HSIP money. Next one, please. Oh, next. Perfect. Oh, yes, and this one's already been pushed out, and we actually are closing it probably as we speak right now. That's the Pitzer Bridge project. It's roughly 1.69 million if I did my math right there. That's a state bridge replacement program that we applied for. We've got that money from that, and the other part is coming from federal bridge money. I had the pre-construction meeting. The contractor wants to move in right away. Hopefully, weather depending. That's the big thing with all these projects. We work in an outdoor factory. If it rains a lot, it's hard to do some of the work. But that contractor does not have a whole lot of projects going on. He wants to move in and make this his priority and get it done, which we do too. So to be optimistic, maybe it'd be November, but if weather hits us, it would maybe early spring before we get it open. Now again, that's what those projects usually take, 10 to 12 months. But there is a detour for that. It is marked. You're going to get a lot of questions. Why people are driving down my road. We can't control where everybody drives, but there is a marked detour out there. I would advise people to go do that type of stuff.
Now, your detour is pavement.
All paved.
They're cutting across the gravel.
They
Is
will.
that so much shorter?
They will. People will.
I know, I've already gotten calls.
Yep. And I've already gotten calls too. It's pretty standard with the detour routes. People will find other ways to go where they need to go, and it's just the way it is. So, a couple other things with these road notifications. All these things can be seen through Iowa 511 DOT. You have to go over the little box and click county notifications, and you get the whole state. Also, you can go through our website, Madison County Secretary of Roads at Madison County website. There's a link there to the county's road closure notification system. We will post all of our maintenance type stuff. In fact, a lot of times when we're running through these meetings and we have these road closures, those have been posted there. A lot of them are small projects. I had a great conversation with somebody here last week about why we weren't notified, weeks in advance for some maintenance type issues. The fact is we don't have the staff to do that. We just don't. We have 34 people, 1,000 miles of road. If it's just some of these day labor projects, we get it posted on the notification, but we don't always have time to notify the whole block. These bigger projects like this, most projects that are let, we do have more time to get that worked on because, like this project here was let in February, so we know we had the project, we can work on it. But these daily projects that you see come through, some of these pipe replacements, maybe some ditching, we just don't always have the resources to get a hold of everybody. It's impossible. And then the other thing is that a lot of times when we have these daily labor projects scheduled, it's triage. We may have had it planned, but we got an inch of rain last night, so we can't start that project. It's too wet, so we find another project to work on. You just don't wait around. So you may hear that from some people who say, hey, I don't know. What I would recommend, if you really want to know what's going on, you can subscribe to that, and it'll send you a text message, or an email if you want to know. So that would be my suggestion. We are trying the best we can to let people know what's going on.
So for this particular project, is there any kind of notification?
Yeah, this project right here, since we had the time to do it, we sent out a one-page letter that said, hey, you own property, this is what's going to happen, and actually that map that you see is on the backside. And I'll do the same thing for the Cummings
And you
Road.
put it in the shopper, did you?
We put it in the shopper,
Pull
too.
that page.
Did you, when you mail it, do you just do the addresses, the parcels that touch it, or?
We just did the frontage of the parcels that touch it along the road.
Okay.
Yeah, and like that one was 99 letters that had to go out. I'm guessing that Cummings Road's gonna be close to 200.
How do they get on the email? What do they do?
So if you want to get on the email for notification, or if you want to be sent a text message, if you go to our Madison County site, go to the secondary roads, road notification system. You click on it, there's a place to sign up for that. When we have events, if they are not completely county-wide or disastrous, like a week ago, and that's one of the closings that are in here, we have water over the Cummings Road. As soon as the dispatchers know and we have timing, we'll get it up there and then that. So if you want to sign up for that. Now, again, if we have a rain event, which I've been here when we have it, and it goes over 75 roads, then I don't necessarily have all the people. We're out trying to get the barricades up first before we get it on the system, but we'll try to do the best we can. So, good question. Anything else? Yeah. That's all I have on that. And the other thing I was going to comment is, again, we're going into these road closures. A lot of that stuff, some of it's done. One of it's happened just right now. And the other thing I want to bring up is, and this is as per our county policy or our handbook, we were able to purchase a, it's a MOVAC or it's a vibratory driver attachment that goes to an excavator. And what this tool does is it allows us to drive piling and sheeting. And that piece of equipment is going to be used to help buy some time on repairs on bridges, because I just had a conversation with the gentleman back there. Basically, half of our bridges are in need. This lets our crew get into some places to do this piece of equipment. I'm grateful that we were able to purchase it. However, we purchased this on Sourcewell, which we got a great price for it. But since it's a specialty piece of equipment, shipping was like $4,500. It has to be created. We are lucky we have the trailer and the truck and 2 of our people willing to travel over and get it. So they're going to drive over there and get that. And the reason I'm bringing that resolution to you is because that's part of our policy to let you know or to ask. And it's a savings to the county. Both of these employees are mid-management, so their salary, they're not going to receive any extra overtime or anything. They are going to go out and get it because, well, they're good employees, and they also see the need for the tool and what can be done.
So it's a pile driver?
Yeah, it hooks to one of our excavators. It's able to grab on the piling. It uses vibration to drive the pile into the ground. We do have a crane, but the crane's older than I am. It is that method of putting piling in the ground with that setup is labor intensive, and the skills to do that with, I might be the only one that knows how to do that. It's kind of what's happening with the industry. It's not just here. So that's the only thing I have to bring to you. Thank you very much for your time. I hope it didn't take too much of it. I appreciate the help on the presentation over there.
Now tell the employees thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet,
Please
yeah.
tell them
Thank
thank
you.
you, and thank you for thinking outside the box about it.
Again, I also, anybody that has any comments or questions would like to talk to me, I'll be here through the meeting, and I can talk to you in the hall, or you can make an appointment and talk to me in the office. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next one is presentations, Ryan Marquardt.
I got less time with the rescheduling.
Thank you.
Of course. So, Brian Marquardt, Madison County Development Group. With our RLF, we did those 2 earlier in the summer. So close those 2 loans on the revolving loan fund. We are currently working with a business that has an RLF with us to try to get them sold to a new buyer. So we're trying to help the new buyer with financing for an existing business that we have with the RLF. A loan on. So on the NCDG owned ground, we did get the appraisal back. We still are seeking some additional clarity on that appraisal. Basically, it's 2 parcels, and usually when those parcels are lumped together, they're worth less, and when they're separated, they're worth more, that we're trying to look at selling it as a combined parcel, so we're trying to get it, them to offer some more clarity on what they've got right now. We worked with Holly on the Thriving Communities application, with the city of Winterset, that did not get approved, so we have a feedback meeting tomorrow, so that's a state program that gets you preferential points for housing tax credits. So workforce housing is, I think it's about $320,000 and below to get these preferential points, and they're about $30,000 to $35,000 per house in terms of tax credits for the developer, which the developer can also, they're transferable, so they can also be sold. So that's what we were trying to get. We can get it, so we're gonna figure out what we can do to do better next time. We are helping in the city of Winterset. We have a business relocation, and we are still kind of working on their old site. We continue with professional recruitment. I mean, optometrists, CPAs, and lawyers have all been identified as the places where we're kind of hurting, where we're kind of thin. We are working on we have a larger project that we can't elaborate on a great deal. We're trying to help that project find a site. We kind of got it down between 3, and we're kind of going back and forth on them. And then when that project sets, we'll likely kick off 1 or 2 additional projects that want to be close to it. So we're kind of working on that. And that's fairly consuming, and that's been a project that we've been tracking the last couple of weeks heavily. And we've been meeting with their engineering firm and their design teams and stuff like that. So we do have a possible sizable business expansion project that we can't elaborate on until decisions are final, hopefully sometime in August on that. We are helping another business figure out some transitional financing so that they can also change ownership. And we have a separate project where we're working on some low-cost financing for some specialized equipment in town. In Earlham, we continue with the 2 residential sites. We're trying to get the meetings all lined up with the right people in the same room, so we think we can get them to acquiesce. We'll have a conversation with the developers after that. We're still trying to get the Dallas County business to move to Madison County because they're having some trouble with their zoning department up there. It's a rural business. And we have a small business transition in Earlham, but we've hit a lot of snags on that project, so we'll kind of see if that, nothing on our end, it's all between the 2 parties, not getting along at the moment. So hopefully they'll work it out and we can continue to push this project along. So. And then on Turo, we are continuing to work on their library financing, just to give them at least a blueprint for how to proceed with it. If they want to proceed with it, we'll continue to support them, especially on the foundation side of things. There's instruments we can bring into play there to help them with that project. In the rural part of the county, we're working with it. We continue to work with the rural business on their expansions. You can see that north of town, Sam's Upholstery has a large building going up there. Probably might be helping them with some equipment, building that new building down the road. Then we have another separate business with some equipment concerns that we're also looking at financing options on that. On the community foundation side, there's been no recent activity on the cemetery fund. The grants selection, that's all done. We're basically finishing up the last of the press and Facebook posts for that. We'll kind of get going to glide mode into the fall once that's all wrapped up. Other things, it's a little bit of a slower time of year in the office, so we can burn down some PTO, got some clerical catch up. We'd like to get the website update mapping done, and we'd like to do some more BDRV visits, which is business retention and expansion visits. It's usually we sit down with the business for about an hour and go through. Usually it's basically like an informal questionnaire process where we try to figure out how we can help them and what their concerns and needs are. So that is typically, we do that all throughout the year, but it's easier to do it in the summer when there's less other noise going on. Other than that, we try to take advantage of the time that we have right now because we know that once September gets here, things will heat up again pretty quick once we get back into the fall for both looking at spring construction again. So, any questions?
Is there a real great need for affordable housing in this county?
Yes. Everywhere. Like, we're not unique. It is all over the place. I mean, you look at even Earlham, you put a house on the market in Earlham, it basically sells within a couple of days. So there's a need for housing, but there's also a need for workforce housing, so, which is basically kind of in that 250 to 325 range. There's a great deal of desire in that space.
Can, Matura, I sent the person to Matura, but they were going to be homeless because they just couldn't afford rent. Is
Sure.
there still any rent assistance much?
I typically do not work directly with rent assistance programs, but, I know there's some out there, I just don't know what their funding level is at this point, so. I mean, Matura would be a place to talk to, or Chris.
I sent them out there, so.
It's limited though, they
I
don't
know.
have a lot of funds for that, because that comes from the taxpayers. They can only give what is allowed,
Yeah.
so.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, anything else? Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, next we have the public hearing for the, amendment to the solar energy systems. We are basically extending the, moratorium on solar, and, because right now we're in the process of updating our ordinances, so we've extended it 12 months or until the ordinance is passed, whichever is later. So that was posted in the paper as a public notice, so now we have a public hearing. Did we get any written comments on all?
Officially moved in the public.
Oh,
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to enter into public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, do we have any written commentary or anything coming from the public at all? No, and it was posted as required. Yep, okay. All right, well, now it's time for folks to speak. We'll go ahead and state your name and where you're from. If you have any commentary on this ordinance,
Specific to the,
specific to the.
for now, right?
The
Yes.
ordinance. Yeah, we're not in public comment yet, this is just the public hearing. Did you want to say something?
Sure. Brian Marquardt, 2342 105th Street, Van Buren, Iowa. I will just say that I think there is an opportunity there with it. So like what we see in the county is we see a lot of housing that's, the way we have our zoning code written, we see a lot of housing that's driven toward like slightly marginal ground, like lower quality ground. So what we see is like a reduction in pasture ground and other things like that. I think there's probably a space in where as long as the setbacks are appropriate, where solar panels could be used in complement to agricultural production, so something called agrivoltaics. In that instance, I think it might be a benefit to the county, because you have a landowner, if they're looking at a way to revenue things, one way to revenue would be to sell your land for your housing, but another way would be to like, we're gonna continue to produce something on it, you can graze underneath them for Pete's sake. And then we're also gonna have a revenue stream from the rental revenue of the solar panels, so. It's not a perfect system, but it's another option out there, and it's something that you just might wanna have on the table at some point.
Is that something that's a part of the discussion eventually?
I think it will probably be part of the discussion in terms of what that might look like, but I just throw that out there as something that I see as like, well, there might be a possibility here that might be advantageous to property owners in the county that has an alternative to housing, especially with diminishing pasture ground. You know, that's all I'm saying. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for the solar energy system ordinance amendment.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is now closed. We'll go ahead and move into public comment. Please come up to the microphone, state your name and the town you live in, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi. Tell me when the time starts.
Start when you
You
start.
start talking then.
It's gone.
I knew that the tech was gonna
Could you
be my
say
trouble.
your
I was
name,
going-
please?
Pardon?
Your full name.
Nancy Forrest.
Nancy Forrest, 2299 152nd Street, Winterset. I was gonna play for you a bird call. I'm hoping that you will beg your indulgence for another 3 minutes to highlight another piece of wildlife that's important to us. Now, this call goes something like, I mean, it's really loud. It's a wake-up call. And I first heard that and saw the bird when I was in my teens. I was at a typical Missouri creek and was either with other people or on my horse, but a call like that can override some other details, so I don't know for sure. The bird, as I later found out, was called the pileated woodpecker. It's black and white with a splashy red crest. From this moment on, I became watchful in hopes of seeing such an apparition once again. Years went by without another sighting. Married, then a parent, and a corporate gypsy following my husband's job changes. Life was full, busy, and involved many new environments. In Iowa, coming from Missouri, who ever thought of coming to Iowa, but we did. We have lived near landscape scale woodlands once again, and my fingers were crossed all these years later. One snowy morning, I heard that distinctive call in my own backyard. And then, for a brief moment, the woodpecker perched in a dead tree near my bedroom window. And that became another magical day. Inspired by this bird, I have been watchful and now work to help others lose something called nature blindness. Because nature needs our attention and stewardship. You have to see something to begin to value it, and then you help care for it. I am told that sightings come from Pamela Park, a friend's soot feeder in Winterset, and a handful of other times in our woods.
Thank you.
The app that I tried to play the call on is called Merlin, and it's free, and under better skills, it works. Here's hoping that some part of nature has captured your watchful eye already, or that you feel compelled to pay closer attention and to be awed by the natural world around you. I also have 2 handouts of events. I'll put them back there. Thank you very much. The one time I didn't have to get cut off.
Nancy,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
had one last year. They're magnificent. They're bigger than a crow. It feeds at my suet feeder. And I tried, if I try to take a picture, just even move close to the window, they fly away. They're wonderful.
They are.
They
Their
are.
wingspan is about 30 inches.
They're wonderful.
Is there someone on the phone that wishes to speak?
They can't hear.
They can't hear.
We can hear them.
Can someone speak? See if you confirm you can hear us?
Apparently it happened a couple minutes ago.
I'm sorry.
Apparently it happened a couple minutes ago. They weren't able to hear.
They weren't
Can you
able to
get
hear.
her back?
It's on the volume's all the way up. I don't know.
The audio dropped.
The audio dropped.
Do you wanna try
You wanna talk?
calling out and calling back in?
Okay, I'm gonna hang up and have them call back in. Okay, if you can hear me, we're gonna hang up and try and restart the bridge.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID. You are now joining the meeting.
Give them a minute to call back in. If you're on the phone, please say hello.
Hello.
Okay, sounds like we got out of that. Okay, is there someone on the phone that wishes to comment? Okay.
Are you the public hearing or public comment?
This is public comment, we already had the public hearing. But you can speak about whatever you want at this time.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
You can hear me now.
yes, I can hear you, just go ahead and state your name and the city you're from.
Okay, good, thank you. I'm Anita. I'm Anita Smuck from Winterfest. I know the Board of Supervisors have all reviewed Mr. Ford's resume, but I would like the public to make a point of reading it. He is incredibly qualified in many ways. He has clearance with the FBI and is a former police officer. He can identify fraud, which is something our county needs greatly. He has vast experience in establishing processes and managing budgets as well as people. He has vast knowledge of Iowa. His construction experience is a plus, though I hear he is being described by the Alliance as just a construction worker. I am excited to see some real change in Hackett and encourage people to keep an open mind, unless of course you have something to hide. Improvement with the same people and processes that caused the problem in the first place. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anita. Anyone else that wish to comment that's on the phone? Okay, all right, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And we're up now for resolutions for board consideration. Approving employee benefits deductions to match employee payroll cycle. Is anyone from the auditor's office on? I know it's late, they may not be on. But it's my understanding for this is because we went to the online and digital, they had to switch it from all the benefits coming out of the first paycheck to being split out of two separate paychecks. That's very common in the private sector, so, but we have to approve that. It's a change, so that's what this resolution is for.
So we make a motion?
Yes.
So moved to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, the next one is for reappointment of Susan Crowder as Public Health Administrator as a member to the Central Iowa Regional Housing Authority. This is something we've appointed her every year in the past, so this is just a renewal for that for the new fiscal year. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next resolution is for approving the yearly maintenance renewal for Kovacs Asset Capture Software for $1,347.28. This is an annual renewal. Because it's a new fiscal year, we have to approve it. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
What does this serve? What's Kovacs?
It's what, Jen used to just do it, it's a yearly renewal for,
Software for what department?
IT.
For IT, okay.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Do we have a first and a second?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion, any other discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
This
please-
call is no longer being recorded.
It's not recorded anymore?
or it'll record on you on it.
People can record from their own phones and
That might
it'll
be-
notify you if they do that.
Okay.
That might be somebody else.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
As long as this guy's on, right?
Yes, this one
Okay.
is still on. Okay.
So we should be good.
All right, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, motion carries. Next one is approving the amendment of the Solar Energy Systems Ordinance. That's the one we just had a public hearing on. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now, this is just the first reading, for ordinance amendments. We can have up to 3 readings. On the second reading, we can always vote to waive the third reading if we want to. So that'll be consideration next meeting that we have.
Okay.
Okay, all right, the next one is a resolution to approve VPN access for Matthew Schwartz through July 8th, 2028. Actually, that should be 2026. So I'm gonna, amend the agenda, cause we usually do them on annual yearly things
For a year, yeah.
for a year. So we're gonna, let me make sure on the
Make a
resolution.
correction on the
The resolution.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm just looking at the agenda, I'm going to the resolution now.
I think it
Was it correct on the resolution?
The
The
resolution
resolution's correct, it's just the
Yeah.
agenda was a typo. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve.
With, I will so move to approve the correction
On
of
the
July
agenda.
20 on the agenda.
Yeah.
Because the resolution is correct, so we'll correct the agenda.
And I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion carries. Okay, let me get back to here. All right, next one is, we have, do we wanna do all 3 road closures for secondary roads together?
Yeah.
Is that okay, Mike?
Yes,
Okay.
actually, you could do all of them, they're all
Bridge closures too,
They're all
right? So-
closures, these are just,
So do the road closures and the bridge closures
that's what I would
together?
do, sounds,
So move to approve,
F through J.
yep.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, the next one is approving the pickup and delivery of Movex pile driver, vibratory driver for $4,500. This is what you were talking about.
this is what the
earlier.
savings was, yeah,
The
otherwise
savings.
it was gonna cost us to ship that.
Yeah.
So
It's-
move to approve.
Yeah.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye, all opposed, motion carries. All right, we are now up to other business, board member reports. Who would like to start with that?
Go ahead, Jen. Well, okay, I had, well, we appointed the auditor, we had all those interviews. I attended CCOG, Housing Trust for CCOG, and, there is a lot of low housing, in southern Iowa, and a lot of need. And then I attended HERDA. That's about it.
Well, we had a lot of meetings regarding the auditor appointment, and I'm happy to welcome Matt Schwartz. I'm really looking forward to him, helping us improve some process and policy, and maybe streamlining some things and working more efficiently. Really looking forward to our auditor staff having some good support. I know that, in our last meeting, there was some discussion regarding the opioid settlement funds, and so I've been making a lot of phone calls to try to understand what went wrong, and see if there's some way that we can still salvage that program. And I had a really good meeting with Turning Point today, and I think that we can come to, some acceptable terms regarding the documentation so that we can get that program implemented. So I'll continue to work with that. I'll be talking with Steve tomorrow, from that perspective, and continue to reach out to the task force members, to make sure we've got everybody on board, to move with that.
So is the task force still alive? Last I heard they were.
Some are not. I don't think one I can,
Okay, because we might need
there's
to,
one I don't think I can get that.
if so, we might need to reappoint some folks. So we'll need to, we'll
I
need
think
to
the
get
task
confirmation.
force,
We'll need to get confirmation who needs, because there's supposed to be a task force of 5. So if we have folks that have stepped down, then we'll need to fill the vacancy. So we'll need to know who that stepped down, so we can do a resolution.
let's see if I can get him back before we do that.
Yeah.
Cause he was very crucial.
Okay.
on
That'd
getting-
be great, and I'm trying to call the other task force members, because no task force member was actually present at this meeting, so I wanna make sure that everybody's on board, and we come up with an amicable solution for everyone. So, yeah, I've been working, trying to get some understanding there and trying to come up with something that's adequate for everyone involved. I'm really excited about that program, and I think it'll be great for our community. We should have another safety committee meeting coming up. We're still trying to get another day on the calendar, probably gonna be next week. So looking forward to continuing to move that needle as well. That's all I have for this week.
Okay. Like you both, we were all in the same meetings regarding interviews and, the appointments. I had a, Central Iowa Workforce Development Board training for the supervisors. They also made us aware of some of the funding, federal funding freezes have impacted some of the programs, including Job Corps and English language acquisition classes and adult education classes, so those have been affected by that freeze. They did have a mobile workforce center that came down to Winterset, partnered with Agriland, and they offered business career planners to help folks with building resumes, job search strategies, and general advice, so I thought that was pretty helpful. That is it for me on that. So if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and move on to old business, schedule facilities discussion. What's that about? Is that you, Jess?
Well, I had some questions and some concerns just overall regarding facilities and wanna do some long-term planning in that regard. So I just wanna get something on the calendar is my main thing. Now, maybe we can talk about it at the next meeting, see where we go from there.
Do you wanna have a work session so we can dedicate some time to it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that would be best.
And you don't wanna set it up now, you wanna wait till the next regular meeting?
I don't think we should set it up
Or
now,
Let's
rather
do,
than waiting
or let's
2
just
weeks.
let's just do a work session.
Well, we wanna talk about the inspector for the courthouse, cause that, we need to probably
We
get
will.
that done, because the warranty for the courthouse expires in October.
So I don't know 100% that it's gonna be worth our while to have an inspector. So, we have a walkthrough scheduled with Breitholtz this Thursday. So I'll know more, after that, after we have that discussion. And we do walk through that with the contractor, and we'll kind of know more.
Okay, so you don't want a third party to look at it?
I want to give the general contractor the opportunity to walk through it and address the concerns first.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I don't think that's a good idea, I want more information first.
Okay. All right, so while we pick a time for the facilities, meeting,
Should we look at, we kinda had Tuesday mornings reserved as a fallback if we needed to add some others.
Sounds good.
I
Tuesday
know
the
that
15th?
there's a potential scheduling of a closed session.
That's
Two.
what should we see when that happens, or?
Well, I know Kelly was looking at dates, and since we're here, we can talk about that too, maybe get that on the calendar and just let Kelly know.
How about if we set it up for Tuesday, both of them?
Both of them for Tuesday.
For
Or
Tuesday
off
the
days,
15th?
Off weeks.
Sounds good. So, I have a meeting at 11 o'clock on the 15th, but I can probably move it, so,
Should we say a little earlier, like start at 9,
start at 9, and do we wanna do
block off till 9 and 11?
9 to 11? And then find out what do you guys wanna do the closed session first? Do you wanna do that one first, or you wanna do the work session first?
That's, I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's do the work session. I don't need this enough.
Why don't we do the closed session, first, we'll make sure we get that resolved, and then if there's a work session, if we have to cut it off, or if I can't move my meeting, then we have a little bit more flexibility for that. Are you
Let's
guys
go,
okay with
let's
that?
go the closed session at 9, immediately following the work session.
Okay,
Cause we can do that.
okay.
So you're,
I'll let Kelly know that, and then.
Sorry, is that work session following closed session?
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
So one's at 9 and one's at 10? Or
immediately following.
if we state it immediately following, then we don't have to pause.
Yeah, if we just go within a 5-minute recess or something, yeah, that's, I think that's okay.
Cool.
So it's good. We're not waiting.
Okay, that sounds good. So closed session and then work session for facilities.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm glad we got that.
So then who's gonna share that with Kelly?
I'll share it with Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay, so was there anything else you wanted to say about that?
No.
Okay. The next one was replacement of wireless access points. Our wireless access points have reached the end of life. Those are the little things you see on the ceiling that boost our wireless signal so you can carry your laptop around and use it in all our buildings. So it's getting to the point where we can't get more software license renewals on them. So they still work, they're fine, but if they need to make any changes or update anything, they can't do it. So we do have it in the budget to replace them, but I wanted to give you guys an update on that. My understanding from Solutions is that Jen replaced 2 of them already. So he's investigating which ones those were, and then he's gonna get me an updated quote, the cost. Replacing all of them was gonna be around 10 grand, but 2 have already been done, so he's gonna get me some updated costs on that, and then I'll bring that back to the board.
The discussion regarding the dome and putting an antenna up there, would that impact this at all?
It was something different, wasn't it?
That's something different, so that's wireless internet. And I've already received feedback from folks on the 3rd floor that they do not want a microwave on top of their heads.
I had some concerns about that as well.
They made an excellent point.
And are they gonna lease the space or?
So I have, we've been scheduling back and forth with them to meet, we keep crossing. So I will schedule a time, and then I had a conflict, and so I'm trying to get together with BWTI to talk about that, but the feedback I've gotten from the staff up there already is they're not excited about that. So I don't know, I kinda wanna see what they have before I say no, but I don't know if you've received any feedback on that yet.
Other counties, I think some of the southern tiers have done it, but, it's kind of free access for them too, right? I mean, they.
Well, when I broached that subject with them, and we were trying to schedule on the phone, they were not expecting it to give us for free. They were expecting for us to pay for it.
How much benefit is it truly does?
I don't know.
I think we need to know more. Yeah, I think that's fair. We need to understand more, because I had those concerns too,
And if the 3rd floor and they work up there, they don't want it, I don't know, we should respect them, because they're the ones sitting under it.
yeah.
So I think the reason why they did is we're, in center of town, highest building, and that's why they thought it was a good idea, which I can understand, but we do have people working on the 3rd floor, so, I'll find out more. But this is different, this is completely different, this is on our network.
For our network.
For our
and
network alone, yeah, this is
And
not.
this we have to replace.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just old,
It's
okay.
just old, yeah. So I wanna kinda give you guys a heads up, we'll probably, I don't know if we have to sign for that, because it's something that we automatically do, but if they bring a quote, request a quote and then a signature thing, I'll be bringing it to the board, so you know how much it is.
Sounds good.
Anyway, and then the next one, discuss board packet process and deadlines.
So, no, that was something that I know I discussed with you ladies about the timeliness and when they're getting their information. I know the last board packet before this one, you all were pretty pressed for time and not getting that information. So I just wanted to talk about, a process and a policy for when the information needs to get to them, so they have plenty of time to assemble all the information, get it posted.
I think that needs to come from you, you need to set the deadline, and you need to tell them if they don't get it in, it doesn't go on the agenda, sorry about your luck. When I worked for this,
Well, we wanna
Because that
have
is
an
very-
opportunity if there's an emergency or something.
oh,
It's in,
but that gets to be so difficult for you, when you say noon on Thursday and it comes in at 4, that's not fair to them.
I know.
I think the official rule actually is, I believe it is 4 o'clock on Thursday, and that's not always an issue, but we have it a lot where people will wait to send all of their stuff until 4 p.m. on Thursday, or so many people sending their stuff in on Friday. I'll just start with addressing that. A lot of times when people send us stuff to put on the agenda and in the packet, it is not, here is a resolution, here are the items that go with it. It's gonna be sometimes 5 or 6 different emails with a bunch of different questions and a bunch of different things, and they'll ask multiple things about one different resolution and say, oh, actually, I think we're gonna do this, and wait, we're gonna do this, and wait, we're gonna do this. So if we're getting stuff from someone at 4 p.m. on a Thursday and we don't have any completed documents, we have multiple different emails with multiple different documents, some of which need to go in, some of which don't need to go in, it's really difficult for us to try to scramble last minute, even just reaching back to the people who submitted it in time to clarify that that is what they want. And when you add in that communication lag, it is hard to get things out on time. And that's assuming that people even get in their stuff at 4 p.m. on Thursday. A lot of people don't get in their stuff at 4 p.m. on Thursday. And even when they do, sometimes we still have edits that we need to make. Individually, it's not a big deal, but it happens a lot. And when we have large agendas, it's a lot of work. When we don't have enough time to get everything put together before Friday at 4:30 p.m., we cannot control the website. We have to send in the documents and those get uploaded onto the website. They are only open during business hours. So if people are sending uncompleted stuff in on Thursday, or they're sending stuff in Friday morning and we can't have everything compiled, we can't get it published to the website. And if it's published before business hours close and shortly thereafter, sometimes they make mistakes. We had that issue happen last time where they accidentally replace the document instead of adding an additional document. It doesn't give us time to react and see it and fix it. And it also doesn't give us time to have the board review it and let us know that everything's okay. And it's, yes, we have a 24-hour reporting deadline. So if we have a meeting at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, we technically can publish things until 6 p.m. on a Monday. But the problem with that is it's not as simple as just going and adding something onto the agenda. If we have already published everything and the board packet is assembled, we have to go through every single one of the resolutions. We have to unclip it. We have to find every single tab. Sometimes there's between 50 to 100. Untab them individually and then add it in and then go put it in on the agenda. And then we have to walk over the annex and then post it on the board. We have to go walk over to the courthouse and post it on the board. And then we have to scan the entire board packet, reorganize it, retab it, and then send it in for publishing. And it looks very unorganized. It takes a long time, and it's just not an efficient process.
What if you write down how this needs to work for you to make it efficient? And I wonder if you should sit down with all the other departments and just say what you need.
Well, I think what you should just say is, please send me a completed document, a resolution,
Well, I think you
attachments.
should describe it, just like you did, very
Period.
elementary, and
Not
do
via
it.
email back and forth, like
You-
when I send things to her, it's a completed resolution other than the top, because you have to, adjust that top. It's a completed resolution, what I wanted to say, she checks it for spell check, so it's good to have another set of eyes. And then the documents I want attached, it is sent to her complete. So I think, and the multiple emails back and forth, to your point, that's, I think, where things get lost.
I think so too. So make a list exactly how you want them to do it. Tell them how you want to do it. You don't want to piecemeal, because 5 different emails is so confusing. Have them scan it in all at once. I think you just need to communicate to every department what works.
We have tried. Also, it is in the board rules and procedures that the stuff needs to be in at 4 p.m. on Thursday, so we're not able to set that policy from our office. I would like for you guys to consider moving it back a little bit early, even just to give enough time for us to send off all the materials to the board so that they can read it and go through it before it gets
So
published.
you want it noon on Thursday?
Would that work good
What
for
do you
you?
guys think?
No,
No,
it doesn't work.
No?
I
See,
mean,
I think you need to sit
it puts a
down.
big burden on our department. We run a lot of stuff
Okay.
through there. And hopefully, we're not causing a lot of problems.
You guys send in your stuff perfectly
Right.
every
Right,
single time.
but what I'm
It's great.
saying is, when and it's going to happen, I don't mean to speak out of turn here.
No.
It's going to happen where you have circumstances, holidays, I understand
Yes.
that. But that extra, and I brought this up before when we talked about changing meetings, that extra processing time, which you're into the same thing right now, is hard a lot of times for our office to meet that even at 4 o'clock, if we have a lot of stuff going on. Now, I understand
Yeah.
exactly what you're getting at though.
And your guys' department is fine,
But
you
it-
never have any issues.
So there's a
with
lot of times we're scrambling on Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to try to get you what you need to do. And a lot of our stuff is, you know, these road closures and stuff aren't really super, I mean, they're all important, but there's a lot of time sensitive stuff. Contracts that are approved through the DOT because we're already on a cycle where we only meet every 2 weeks. And sometimes in the month, it's every third week. We have 30 days to get that stuff done and processed out, and we've been up against the deadline a couple times on it. So it's I understand your deadline process, but moving that around, the extra 4 hours makes a difference to us too.
So what about this? Because I know you guys already have different processes already with the county for the secondary roads. Because you are on deadlines that have nothing to do with the county. What about if we do noon by Thursday, secondary roads has till 4 p.m.?
Well, you know, I want to be as calm. We need to all work together.
Yeah.
But I just sometimes that could be tough for us to get that done. Even claim processes, you see the amount of claims that get processed. Because of the world we live in today, and vendors, you can't get everything from one vendor, and we try to shop around as much as we can. You've seen I have basically one person who will spend most of their time just getting that entered, and that starts immediately, and that's tough to get all this stuff done. So anyway, I'd bring that up. I understand that not everybody maybe sends the packet the way you'd like to see it. Maybe that's a good suggestion as an example packet. I don't know if they have the staff. I'm very lucky that I do have a great front office and they work as hard as they can to get those things done. I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you're saying with your time too. Would it be, and even the time it takes when you have to redo it, I get it. Like, let's say something comes in and you've labeled all of your stuff A, B, C, D, E, you know, and so forth. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, absolutely,
Every department has a number, correct?
correct.
Or 20, Department 20. So could you go 20A, 20B, 20C, and then that way you don't have to change those resolutions because the department number is what it is if somebody sneaks something in?
We normally don't need to change the resolution numbers that get assigned. They're all assigned to each individual
Right, up front.
department. So it's, SR
Okay.
or
All right.
SPV.
All right.
That's not the problem.
Okay.
The problem is when the board packet is like that, we
Yeah.
have to take it all apart and then add everything back in because we can't scan it in like that. So we need to rescan it and republish, and it's that process that is time consuming.
Sure.
But the problem is more not people sending something in on time at all. They're incomplete.
Okay,
They're not
sure.
done.
No, I understand. Yeah, again,
Documents
I know what you're talking about. We're in the same thing. But 4 hours may make a difference to us down there. And I guess if that happens, it happens.
And is it a broad issue with you not getting all the data from numerous people, or is it isolated with a few individuals that maybe we just need to have a walkthrough and make sure that a few individuals understand what information they're lacking?
Yes, I think you need to sit down like I
Yeah.
said. Sit down.
I was gonna say, I
Yes.
mean, I'm gonna be really honest, I don't know how to do a resolution. I mean, I was never, it's not like, it's like, here guys, here's how to do a resolution. This is what we need on a resolution, this is what we don't need on a resolution. I mean, I can look back at resolutions that have been in the past and I can add to it and change it and that sort of thing. And hopefully that works. Happy to do that, but then also at the other times, there's certain things that, like a certain resolution that I'm thinking of right now, I thought it was gonna be one way, because that's how it was the last year, and it was opposite. So it's kind of one of those things, like, how do we know which way it's gonna be? And that's where I think that we just need consistency, and I would love a little guidance.
So just
and
call all your
resolution,
department
so-
heads together
Yeah.
and teach them. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
They all they just need a lesson and help them. How you want it done, communicate. It sounds like all of the department heads.
So maybe we can send them some resolution templates that they can look at, like here's a wage resolution template, here is a purchase template, here is a contract resolution template. And just kind of give them some samples, so then they get just, in Word doc, so they can just change it, and then the only thing you're changing is the top label. The other thing too I wanted to address is the website issue. One of the things in the website RFP, I don't know if you recall this, but one of the requirements that when we do decide to do that, if we decide to do that, is to give control to each of the department heads to upload and to their own pages. So in case you're running late, it's 5 o'clock, or someone tells you, did you know that this is, disappeared from the website or whatever, you can correct it at any time because you would have full control over your page. We don't have that now. We have to rely on them, and I would like to empower our department heads to be able to do that. So that's one of the things on the RFP requirements. And if the board wishes, I don't know, you probably have a copy. I don't know if I sent you a copy of the, okay, I can send you what we did a couple years ago, or considered a couple years ago, and didn't let, but, and then if you have any ideas, I'll send it to you again, to Diane, if you have any ideas, and then we can see if that's something we can do. I have not talked to Solutions about this, it's been a couple of years, so we probably would revisit that. I don't know if they have any improvements on what they have right now, but my last conversation with them about that was about a year ago, and we do not have the ability to control that. Something to do with security, I don't know. But that's something I think it'd be helpful for our departments, that they can make changes, and then they can make corrections live if there's a mistake. So I'll probably get that on the next agenda for us to discuss, and I'll send you that, I'll send you both that again.
We're not opposed at all to helping departments figure out how to write them, and Kylie, you emailed us beforehand, we were able to get it all figured out and get it written, and that's great. That's not the problem. The problem is when every single one of them is at 4 p.m. on Thursday.
And they're not finished and we don't know what they are. Then you need to sit down and tell them what you need to make this work. You need to communicate to those offices and help, so they have an understanding. Do it again.
You said you have.
We've sent out multiple emails about deadlines and clarifying if there's any questions, if you need help with anything, feel free to reach out with us. If you have a situation where you can get it on time, communicate that to us ahead of time, we can try to make it work. Talk to
Sounds
us.
like they've been trying, Diane, it just
Then
doesn't
leave,
work.
then they won't get it on the agenda.
Okay, I just wanna say, if we're gonna stick to a hard deadline, we need to stick to a
I
hard
think you
deadline.
do. I think you have to, because it's not fair to make you do it over and over, and if you've worked that hard with them and they still don't.
If there's an emergency though, I think we need to have maybe.
What defines an emergency?
Well, yes.
Because I don't wanna be, the butthole that tells someone that they can't have their hiring resolution on when they send it Friday at 4 p.m. if it was like really an accident. But then when we do that, everyone else sees it as, okay, I can do that too, it's not a problem.
And they can't really email us, we'd have to have a meeting to discuss it. So, Matthew, would you be willing to make that call?
It's between the auditor's office and the state.
Yeah, we'll work on a training and policy.
Yes.
Between the two, we can correct this.
When's
It's a
your absence?
workflow issue that we just gotta educate people,
Yes.
so they understand the needs that the people that put this together have. And there's gonna be some hard deadlines, but we'll make it clear up front, so everybody knows.
Because if we have an issue where, say, you need something last
Well,
minute,
I'm
missing
always-
out on $1 million grant, I want that.
Right,
to
right,
be
and very rarely do I ever try to do that. Our deadline is 4 o'clock. That's what our staff knows, that's what I try to meet, unless, like I said, something comes to the end, and I know that. I try to follow it, and
You guys do great.
I get it. It takes time when things don't come in and you gotta redo it, that, I get it. And I don't wanna be the bad guy saying, please don't do that. But when is your exact, do you have a handle on what the time frame is, cause hopefully you would get it posted out sometime Friday, that's what you try to get?
Yeah, we posted out Friday, so the deadline listed is 4 p.m. on Thursday. It's just, and I've been a lot nicer in accepting things pretty much up until the point when it's published, because we get a lot of them late. and we try to be accommodating, but it's the late and the incomplete part, and it's just, I think we need more communication from department heads beforehand when they're not gonna have something ready, or they have questions, or they need to ask more questions or figure out more. It's just, we can't have people wait until the last minute when it's not complete.
It sounds like Matthew's more than willing to meet with the department heads, and I think you're right, Connie, we just need communication on how to do it, so.
Do you,
Because if we're at our best, then the board's getting the draft before it's posted, so we can review it and make sure it has everything, you know, and we can hopefully catch any issues if we have that
We even
Friday.
this issue,
So
so
we,
it's
yeah,
fine.
we started. But it's valid, you know, I think there's a lot of people that would like some instruction on that, so that would be great if you all could help us, to learn that and know that and be prepared for those deadlines. And we can't communicate enough, right, about that.
I am lucky that I've been, I guess, around a long time. A lot of the resolutions that we do are seasonal or yearly, or it's kind of the same boilerplate over and over and over and over again. I do have word templates for all of the secondary road stuff. If you are looking for some help with that, if you would go back into a period of time where things kind of were going along, in the resolution book,
We have sample resolutions
you
of
could
everything
probably
that you
get a
can use to base
sample
off
of everything that would be standard.
We're happy to
And a
provide
lot
those
of,
to department heads and sit down with them. Kylie, if you wanted to sit down and go over resolutions, I'm happy to do
it
that.
would also give you dates of when those things occur. I mean, I'm not speaking for every department, but I do know from the department that I'm in, that a lot of that stuff happens about in October, or happens in December, or those type of things. And I've got kind of a packet that I've put together that would help that. Now, you, like I say, you could go through just kind of a year of your own ones that come out of your office and get an idea, if that would be helpful. So, but that's where you find that. And I know a lot of it maybe on, you know, that's one of the things that bad about the digital world today. If somebody was on, they went on with their computer and it was on their system or something, and that some of that may have been lost. But there is a hard copy still in the book that would help each one of those things. I'm not gonna say more. Again, I didn't want to be, you know, if you got to change it, you got to change it. But a lot of times it's hard for us to hit that.
We've got digital word copies of every past resolution, and you can go in and edit them. If it's a pay change, you
That's
can
what I do.
go in and just delete the name of the person and type in your person.
That itself, it sounds like you're working.
All right, anything else before, otherwise I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries, we are adjourned.